Warning: the Savage Nation contains adult language, adult content, psychological nudity. Listener discretion is advised. And now, America's most exciting radio talk show, The Savage Nation, home of unprotected talk, borders, language, culture. And here he is, Michael Savage.
And welcome to The Savage Nation. This is John DePietro sitting in for Dr. Michael Savage. We'd love you to be part of the program today. You can give us a call, 1-855-400-SAVAGE, 1-855-400-7282. As always, visit our website, michaelsavage.com, where you will see listed Michael Savage, his new book, Countdown to Mecca. Under the threat of a third world war, nothing matters except the mission. You can order it at the website. Isn't it interesting how the New York Times omits Michael Savage's new bestseller? That tells you, folks, just how good it is. You can also see various stories that are in the news, whether it be about Hillary and the Benghazi emails, or various Obama scandals, and a lot more. It all starts by going to michaelsavage.com. And again, the new book, it's out now, Countdown to Mecca. Not only does it make a great Memorial Day gift, it makes a great Father's Day gift. It is a great read. Well, we are in tough shape when you have to depend on the likes of Elizabeth Warren. That's who you have to depend on right now. Senator Elizabeth Warren, because she's pushing for transparency with this Obama trade, the Obama trade bill that right now the Republicans are pushing through. Why are they helping him? Why are they going forth? Where is the transparency? There's a great story out, and it is on the website, michaelsavage.com. Even Republican Orrin Hatch admits on the Obama trade bill, he doesn't even know what's inside. If there was ever administration that you need transparency on, I think you would agree that it's this one that you need transparency. Now, Mitch McConnell spoke on C-SPAN. Let's listen to him talking about the Obama trade deal.
This bill represents an opportunity for Republicans and Democrats to stand together for the middle class. So I hope our friends across the aisle will allow us to seize this opportunity, and I'm optimistic. We all know that trade is important for American workers and American jobs. And we all know that by passing this legislation, we can show we're serious about advancing new opportunities for bigger American paychecks, better American jobs, and a stronger American economy.
Yet they won't disclose everything that's in the bill. Do you trust Orrin Hatch? Do you trust Mitch McConnell? Do you trust President Obama? 1-855-400-SAVAGE. 1-855-400-7282. Think of this. It now comes down to Elizabeth Warren, where she talks about the fact that they're keeping the trade deal a secret because the public would oppose it. Let's hear. This is Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren.
Even members of Congress are prohibited from talking about the details in public, and yet, in the next day or two, the Senate is scheduled to vote on whether to grease the skids to make that secret trade deal, the TPP, the law of the land. This isn't how democracy is supposed to work. One of our fundamental principles of representative government is transparency. Our government is supposed to keep things secret from the people only if it has a really, really good reason to do so.
You know, and there's a new poll out that shows just how little people trust Congress. Do you trust any deal? Why won't they disclose what's in it? Why are the Republicans, why is Orrin Hatch and Mitch McConnell, why are they in favor of something that even the Democrats are afraid of, the secrecy that is in it? You know, there's a new poll out that just 23% of Americans say congressional Republicans are keeping the promise they made during last fall's campaign. 65% say they're not. People do not trust, and with good reason. Think of the secrecy that we've had and we've gone through, and that we're going through right now with the Clintons. And now you have President Obama, who, I don't trust. There's no reason to trust him. It takes Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren to step up and say if people knew what was in this, they would not want it because it's wrong. 1-855-400-SAVAGE. How can Orrin Hatch admits he doesn't even know what's in it and yet is saying to go along with it? We're going to start with Cameron, who's listening on WABC in New York. Cameron, welcome. You're first up on the Savage Nation. Hello, Cameron.
Hey, John. Always great to hear you, whether it's in Providence or across the nation.
Thank you very much, Cameron.
The answer to your question on do we trust this team of McConnell and Obama and Jarrett and Reid and all the other Republicans on the same team, no, we can't trust them because they've all been neutralized and caponized by the left through Hillary Clinton's obtaining of 19,000 FBI files through the use of a drug dealer and a bartender called Craig Livingstone years ago. And at the time it happened, I noticed it and tried to spread the word about it. But what you have now is no opposition to Clinton or anyone else on the left because everybody's dirty laundry is in her hands, and she will expose every woman that McDonald ever laid down with because the FBI knows that, and she will expose everything about every Republican, and they know that they are powerless and they must roll over and play the game that is led by George Soros and Valerie Jarrett, and so we have no loyal opposition, do we?
Well, Cameron, thank you for the call. No, we don't. And for those that are listening right now, and you elected Republicans, as most people listening to me have, but you elected them there to keep an eye on this president. Things have to be transparent. Think of the level that we're at, that you have the Democrats, led by Elizabeth Warren, screaming for more transparency. Orrin Hatch doesn't even know what's in the trade bill. He doesn't even know what's in it. Two Democrats even praised, think of how far this has fallen, even praised President Bush, who released his free trade text in 2001. And yet here you have President Obama, who again tries to control the media, doesn't want to put information public, trying to hide it from the public, and the Republicans are going along with him. 1-855-400-SAVAGE. Do you trust your representatives in Congress? Has this president given you any reason to just trust him, to go along, that you have to take our word for it? We know what's in this bill, and it's in everyone's best interest. We don't need to release it, that we're going to keep it. We're going to keep it from the general public. I don't. And I can't believe I'm actually commending Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren for saying there should be transparency. Why is Mitch McConnell and Orrin Hatch being almost co-conspirators and going along with Team Obama? 1-855-400-SAVAGE. Let's go to line 8. Charlie is listening on WFNC. Charlie, this is John DePietro, and you're up on the Savage Nation.
Okay, thank you, John.
Very welcome.
If the public isn't irate over the move that the government is making, they should be. We're passing all of our power to the federal government without asking anything about what we're voting on. So this becomes a dictatorship. They're doing this in secret. Most people don't even know what they're voting on, the same as they did with the Affordable Care Act. They're doing it again with this.
Does the president have your trust, Charlie?
Neither the president does not have my trust, and our federal government does not have our trust.
Thank you for the call, Charlie. Nor do I think they should. Nor do I think they should. If you'd like to read the story, by the way, you can go to our website, michaelsavage.com. 400 Savage. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren went to the Senate floor to push for immediate consideration of a bill that would make the Obama trade text public. Right now, think of this, folks. Congress has to go to a secured room to review the text, can't take notes, or out to discuss what's in it with the public. And that motion failed. Why? Senator Orrin Hatch objected. Think of where we are, where the Democrats are praising that even President Bush, who they detested, released his free trade text. And here we are, 2015. If there was ever a president where we need transparency, if there was ever a president, here you have Democrat Elizabeth Warren, the progressive, the farthest to the left, saying we should keep, why? Why should we keep the deal secret? Because if it was made public, that people would oppose it? That's not how the democracy is to work. And instead, her bill gets shot down. Who shoots it down? Orrin Hatch. And Orrin Hatch admits he doesn't even know what's in the bill. How is that possible? 1-855-400-SAVAGE. Let's go to line 3. Fran is listening in New York on WABC. Fran, you're up next on the Savage Nation.
Yes.
Go right ahead, Fran.
I can't believe that we're letting the government get away with this again, that they decide for us what's good for us as if we're a bunch of morons. You have Boehner, who shouldn't be the Speaker of the House. McConnell is another waste. And the Obama government has got to be the most corrupt government in my lifetime, and I'm over 70. I just can't believe that this continues to happen, one thing after another, where they keep on getting away with atrocities that other governments would have been in jail for a long time ago.
Thank you for the call, Fran. Let me go to line 5. Joe is listening on WMAL. Joe, this is John DePietro, and you're up next on the Savage Nation. Hello, Joe.
Hi, good afternoon, John. Thanks.
Hi there, Joe. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I heard all that this morning here when they were talking, and, the West Virginia, he made a good point. He says when they're allowed to look at this bill, they have to go into the secret room. They're not allowed to take any paper or pencils so they can write notes. They're not allowed to discuss it with their aides who are experts on this. And they're not allowed to discuss it with anybody. And he says, I don't even have a photographic memory, and it's so big I can't remember everything, so how can I possibly understand what this thing is? And another good point that was made, that was back when President Bush was in office, he actually released the trade bill back in several months prior to this. So it really scares me of why this is such a secret bill, why we can't, as a public, understand and know what's in it. It's like the other gentleman said, it reminds me of the Affordable Care Act, where Obama was up there saying, you got to call your congressmen, you got to call your senators, we have to pass this bill. And nobody knew what it was. And
That's exactly right, Joe. We're going to leave it there. Folks, 1-855-400-SAVAGE, 1-855-400-7282. This is John DePietro sitting in for Dr. Michael Savage. This is the Savage Nation.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
Your Savage Nation is sponsored by SwissAmerica.com. It's the only company I trust for tangible assets, gold and silver. Call 800-BUI-COIN.
So if there are no good reasons for secrecy here, that leaves only a bad reason. And believe it or not, it's a reason I've heard people give multiple times. We should keep the deal secret because if the details were made public now, the public would oppose it. Well, that's how our democracy is supposed to work. If the TPP is mostly done and the public wouldn't support it if they could see it, then it shouldn't become the law.
That is Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren actually speaking truth for once.